we understand that it can be easy to feel anxious during uncertain times.
So we Skyped with our relationship expert, Dr. Kirsten Lind Seal, about ways we can cope with anxiety.
Kirsten, thanks so much for joining us. You know, I think this is a topic that we are just not talking about enough here. There are a lot of people out there who are anxious or having some anxiety, but there is a group out there that is most at risk.
Yes. Oh, in terms of anxiety.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So this is really hard. If you're someone who has struggled with an anxiety disorder in the past, this is just going to bring back all sorts of things. One of the things, particularly if you've ever struggled with obsessive compulsive disorder or with some of that sort of compulsive behavior around cleanliness, like if you've ever sort of decided you needed to wipe down doorknobs or telephones or wash your hands 3 times, this kind of situation that we're in right now, where we really do need to do all those things, and it's not only for individual health, it's also for public health. But it's behaviors that before, taken to the extreme, people were really struggling to try not to do. So those people are really at risk for having a much harder time right now. And I will say the population at large, given the fact that we're really kind of in uncharted territory for the modern era, is it can feel very alarming, even to people who haven't struggled with anxiety.
So what sort of recommendations do you have for people as well, for all of us, as we try to adapt to this kind of new normal?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, you know, there have been it's interesting because I actually started writing this outline about a week or 10 days ago, and things have really changed since then. So I've had to adapt, which is fine. And understanding that there are such significant disruptions to our lives right now, there are some things we can do to try to keep as calm a center as we can going forward into whatever the future brings. One of the first things that's important is to try to, even with school out or telecommuting, you know, working from home, you're going to have people sort of sheltering in place. You know, you're going to have people who are all together, and the best thing to do, if at all possible, is to stick to your normal routines insofar as it is possible. So in other words, try to get up at the same time you were getting up every day. Try to eat at the same times you were eating every day. Make sure you schedule in some breaks if you're commuting doing telework. That's a really important thing to keep in mind. The other thing that's really important is to try to get out in nature as much as possible. So given that we are needing to socially distance, we still can be outside, and we know there's such good research on how nature makes us feel better, and we are getting into now, you know, the spring and times when it will be more and more lovely outside. But even if it's not lovely, everybody getting out of the house for at least a certain amount of time every day is really important. And also add to that the piece that then you can be going on a walk. If you have a dog, great, take your dog out. The dog will probably be supremely happy at going out for so many walks. But the more you can do that, the better off everybody will be.
So one of the things I think, Kirsten, that's happening right now is people are having a lot more time than they ever had before. Time with their family, time to do things that maybe they haven't always wanted to do. Is that something that we should be thinking about now?
Yes. This is a great time to see if you can learn how to play the guitar. I'm sure there are, you know, many tutorials on YouTube, or maybe practice speaking French, or maybe take so any of those things. This would be time to focus on what a positive what are the positives that we can possibly pull out of this really deeply unsettling situation.
Kirsten, we still need, especially if you're prone to anxiety, to connect with friends and loved ones. And as we're doing with technology right now, this is still possible for people, right?
Yes. I was really happy to be able to, you know, come on Skype and do this segment from home. It felt like this was something important that I have, you know, been doing for a while and that I really care about. And so I also find I call in and check up on various family members and loved ones around the country and in town as well. I find that if you're able to use FaceTime or Skype again on your phone, the reality of seeing somebody's face pop up on your screen is really lovely, and it can really, it's wonderful to talk to people. And I also, if you can at all, get a screenshot of your loved one you're talking to. This can go a long way. You know, we are such visual creatures, us humans, and so that's what I recommend.
Very
and
calming.
you know, you
Very
find
calming.
yourself talking more to people, and I think that's a really good thing.
It is. Kirsten, thank you so much. I know you're happy to join us. We're happy to have you here, and we will again be talking with you. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm here as needed. Take good care.
Thank you.